The idea that I would like to present tonight to you is mutable building envelope. Mutable means changing. So building envelope remains the same. Any one of you here has a house that it changes its face during the day, in summer, spring, winter. But sometimes we get very bored from our interior design. So what do? We change it. We change our interior design at homes, offices, where we live. And look at what we have here. We have 4 seasons. During those 4 seasons, what happens? The nature around us changes. The weather is not constant. Our behaviors and attitudes, morals, change. Maybe we are more calm in winter than we are in summer. Or the opposite. The activities we do in each season, you look around here, you will find the activities are different. But our building envelope, the cover of the building remains the same. So one would say, why bother? I'm not going to look outside the building, sit outside and look at the building and see if it's going to bother me or not. It actually does. Why? Because the quality of the environment we live in changes and affects our behaviors and attitude, productivity, comfort, etc. And we have seen some evidences from what the technology did to us today. It can bring discomfort, annoyance. But we need things to happen. We need the environment. We need buildings to reflect to what we do. Next slide, please. Okay. Here is an example of a building during the different times of the year. The Empire State. It's the same building. The weather changes, but the building is the same. So the buildings react as constant in the environment. However, the building may look different during the night because the architects, the lighting engineers, they designed the building to look different at night. So if we would like to take the design of buildings to be less constant, to be mutable, to be changeable. Change the slide. Okay, so we would like our buildings to appear differently in terms of form, color, texture. Not only the whole buildings will change, but actually different pieces and parts of the buildings will change. So let's imagine residential buildings, many apartments. At the 11th floor, someone is angry. At the 10th floor, someone has a birthday party. But when we look at outside the building is the same. The building does not reflect the activities happening inside. The future, that we would need to see buildings differently. We would need to see buildings appear differently. So what I have done in one of the projects that I have completed, I introduced some ideas of how can we start this. I introduced the invisible shading devices. Invisible means they appear when they are needed and they disappear when they are not needed. Shading devices means the louvers, vertical, horizontal, tilted, that we have around our windows and openings. Okay. Do we need shading devices at night? There is no sun. Do we need shading devices at every moment of the day? No. Do we need the shading devices? Maybe I'm not speaking too technical. We don't need the shading devices to have the same depth, width, length during the same moments of the day. So can we automate it? Okay, can I pass by the building in the morning, maybe 10 o'clock, the building will have an image. 12 o'clock, the building will have a different image. Because it's 12 o'clock, it's not 10 o'clock anymore. This is the whole idea. The whole idea is that we would like buildings to react to what we do from the outset. One might say this is too fancy. Okay, people who work in the construction industry, they always would like to get a value for the money. Why should we do it? Okay, there are, as we will see later on in the presentations, you could achieve the buildings to be much more energy efficient, our buildings to be more saving energy, our buildings will be much more sustainable, costing less in the electricity, etc. So what I have introduced, I've introduced 3 techniques: invisible shading devices, revolving external layer of the building skin. And you would see that what I have done, I didn't really invent new things. I found the new use of existing things. So I took existing ideas in some other fields and played them into architecture. So that's the contribution that you might see here. So the invisible shading devices, these are the techniques that I would claim novel. Invisible shading devices, I use the